Hello, everyone. We're so happy to have you today, and we're so happy to have Dr. Karina Ochis with us, professor of management, an amazing, amazing woman who has inspired so many women around the world with her unique work. Thank you so much, Dr. Karina, for being here today. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and I hope we can bring true value and a contribution to all those listening and watching us.
Absolutely. I'd hope so too. So today's show is about the godly woman, how to connect deeply with the divine, embody your true femininity, and create the life you desire. As a woman who is very successful in academia and also successful in supporting women and helping women transform their lives and transform the way they look at themselves, how would godly women look like you? What would a woman who is connected with herself, connected with the divine, with whatever her background is, whatever her tradition or spirituality is, who is this woman for you?
I will refrain from giving examples because as women, I think we're taught to always look outwardly when in fact we should be looking inwardly. So the model whom we are looking for is in fact within all of us. And now she may take the shape of Saint Mary or a goddess or some mythological creature. It depends on, of course, one's culture. She can take the shape of our mothers, our sisters, but she's really unique. And I see her in all that is beautiful, pure, has a high vibration, in the warmth of a summer night and the murmur of a mountain river. For me, she feels like the universe's embrace. She tells me to go ahead with my calling, and she tells me that everything will be all right and that no challenge is too great. And now in Jungian psychoanalysis, which I'm really fond of, we see this godly women as an integral part of our psyche. She is that part of our psyche that is nurturing, guides us, and parents us, much like a mother, or surely as a mother should. She takes care of us and ensures that we live in the light, because no trauma, no terrifying secret can live in the light. And that is how I perceive a godly woman.
That's a really beautiful explanation. Thank you so much. And I do feel your heart speaking. I do feel that it comes from a very deep place, and it definitely touches a lot of hearts, because it's the universal truth that a godly woman or the divine feminine lives within us all and tries to express herself through us by us connecting back to our truth, to our femininity. You do a lot of work with women around image and around beauty and around also the different definitions of how a woman should be in today's world. You mentioned a lot that, in today's world, women are trying to embody this form of femininity, but then they end up being unhappy because it's not true to themselves. Please, can you talk about this more?
I think we as women need to discuss our essence more. We live unprecedented times as women, paradoxical times, really. Women are achieving equality in all aspects of life. They're being overachievers in academia, many fields there. Great athletes, and we're seeing increasing number of women as heads of state and as prominent business roles. And yet more and more women are becoming less joyful, less vivacious, and we're seeing them becoming depleted. And this perhaps is the paradoxical result of this encouragement of equality. And whereas as a successful woman, of course, I believe there has to be some sort of equality, we should not mistake this equality from being in masculine roles all the time. I think this is what our world is encouraging right now, women taking masculine roles. Now, what does that mean? A masculine role is often a leading role. And of course, we do need that. But then whenever we take too much of leading roles, whenever we try to do everything and be all things for all people, as women are often encouraged to do, their energy becomes depleted. And then they find they cannot connect with the higher divine, they cannot connect to their essence. And so we need to step back and reflect and take also feminine roles in order to reach this internal alchemy. And I believe a strong spiritual connection brings you in so many ways closer to your higher calling. It lets you know if you're acting from your ego or if you're acting from your higher self. It protects you, it brings you closer to who you are, and lets you know when to return to your fundamental truth. And therefore, you will harness the energy you need in order to continue creating in the godly, beautiful ways that a woman is meant to create in order to have this interior alchemy.
That's amazing. And you mentioned a lot of interesting points. You mentioned that um, women often, especially in today's era, they want to be leaders, they want to step up. And the backside of it, or the negative side of it that comes with it, is that when women forget to be balanced within themselves, balance between their own feminine, their own masculine, their own need to achieve and dreams and desires, and between relaxing into their feminine, they lose the balance point. And when they lose the balance point, they become unhappy. And what is the definition of beauty to you, and expressing femininity for you, and whether in the private life or in the public life, online and social media? Uh, what do you see in today's world, and what do you feel? Where do you feel femininity is thriving, and where femininity is actually being depleted?
I think femininity is unique, as every woman is, as every journey is, and that every person is. And I can, of course, only talk from my personal experience, and of course, the experience that my clients shared with me, whether as their personal brand manager, or as a professor, or their personal coach. For me, femininity, I believe, developed naturally and organically. And I see it as a way of inner peace, as strength and courage. Um, I choose not to fit in a box,
Yeah.
nor do I permit myself to shrink myself in order to make others feel significant. I do not live by anyone else's standards other than my own. And it is through this journey of self-discovery, discovering yourself, and also creating yourself, that I learned that running from yourself is the greatest disservice you can do for yourself, but also for society, because society and community needs dreamers. Society needs visionaries to lead the way, to show the way, and to be the way. And so I follow my calling unapologetically. I do not make the compromises to the integrity of my mission and my vision and the life I want to lead. And it's a truly beautiful feeling. You feel inner peace when you feel you're on your right track. But of course, it takes time to do so. So, for instance, you need to first deprogram yourself from thoughts, ideas, habits, past traumas from childhood. You need to let go of thoughts that are not truly yours, thoughts or habits that are making you a disservice and that are not bringing you closer to yourself. And then you also, I believe, should surround yourself with a community of strong women, of women who have discovered their path, of women who are courageous. They might not be courageous in the same way you are, but they're courageous in living in their truth, in their light. I think I've personally understood that we are the universe, and the universe is within all of us. And as I said, we can only become what we allow ourselves to dream. And unfortunately, most people and women do not allow themselves to dream enough. And here is where we can see the downside of the achievers mentality.
Yeah, wow, absolutely. And can I also ask you, you mentioned that you live your life unapologetically. You are you. You're on your mission. You're on your calling. How can women be that without fighting? Because usually general women, like, from around the world, they feel like if I want to be on my mission, then I have to roll my sleeves and start fighting men, fighting society, fighting our systems, fighting everything, fighting oppression, fighting, and then they're depleted. So how can a woman achieve everything that she wants, be on her mission, whether it's something public or something private? As you mentioned, like success and being on our calling, it looks different for all of us. How can women do that and be that without fighting, but being in their feminine? How does that look like?
First of all, I think we cannot say that it doesn't entail fighting. So I would like to, admit, as many women who have reached strength admit, that to reach to this place of inner peace is to have fought a long fight and many wars. But I think the secret, if there is such a thing as a secret, is to fight in a feminine way. So first you need to know the game. The game is a man's game, and that's perfectly fine, but you don't need to fight like a man. You can fight like a woman. And women have all these other weapons, let's call them. So for instance, there is this thing such as the female intuition. Women are much more intuitive than men. There is empathy, which is another characteristic of women. So I think the problem comes not from the fight itself, but from the way you fight. Because obviously, in order to achieve anything, there is the nature of fight involved in it. But you do need to fight in a feminine way. And then you need to know why you're fighting. So you cannot fight for a purpose that it is not truly yours. You will not fight happily, because there's a difference for fighting for something you believe in and fighting someone else's fight. So I think the real question is, how do we get women to that place where they admit what their calling is, what they want to do? Some women may want to dedicate themselves to being mothers. Others want to reach great success in academia, and that's perfectly fine. But we need to stand in our own truth and recognize that that is the life that you want to lead. And then as women, we're often taught that we need to sacrifice everything in order to be everything for all people all the time, whether that is for children or for friends or for family, after that for the business and so on. That thing with sacrifice is, when you're on your mission, it doesn't feel like sacrifice anymore. It feels like a very well thought out plan in which you know there's something to give and something to receive, but you cannot sacrifice all the time for all people. So I think those are the little tweaks that we need to play with our mind in order to keep ourselves on the right journey.
Yeah, it's like you're speaking more of the warrior archetype, the female, like an Amazon warrior who's very strong within herself, who chooses her battles, not just fights for the sake of fighting to destroy. Because like how I see it, I see that women who want to fight just for the sake of fighting do feel oppressed within themselves, do feel that they need to break free from something outside of them. But a warrior for me is somebody who releases the prison within herself. As you said, the limiting beliefs that she has, all the things that's within her that's stopping her from moving forward in her life, that's stopping her from being in her power as a woman, that's stopping her from connecting to her intuition, her empathy, as you said, or fighting the woman's fight as being a warrior, that I don't need to scatter blood around me left and right. I can just stand in my power as this warrior that knows herself, that knows her voice, and have success in with the intellect, with the mind. We're both academics, so we also have this side of, it's very important for us to be able to think, to analyze, to achieve intellectual success as well as the heart, as well as our physical, embodiment of femininity. And a lot of women, what I found in different societies is they feel that they have to choose between this or this or that. But as you mentioned, it's like when we know ourselves as women, when we stand up for our calling, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like fighting. It feels like we're complete. It feels like we're happy, and that's just so beautiful. And I'm so excited to to receive all the feedback from all the women who are successful in leading positions in intellectual also fields, to listen to our discussion today and to learn from you. um, I'm so grateful. I do have a question on I'm always a visionary person. I love to think in the future. And I'd always ask my guest speakers this question. How would you imagine or envision the world to be if every woman steps into her godly woman, if every woman connects to her intuition, her truth, lives her mission, lives her calling, however that looks like, whether it's a mother, it's an academic, it's a leader, it's an artist, how would the world change?
Wow, what a beautiful question. I think society would change fundamentally, and I will give you a macro answer because I'm also a macro thinker and do prefer to treat things that way. And of course, we're talking about a hypothetical utopic situation, but society would change fundamentally because, first of all, we would see an increase of truthful and conscious parenting. We will have mothers who are teaching the next generation of children to be self-aware, and they would hopefully become self-aware adults, free from trauma, free from bad habits, and who are also living in their truth. So we can only imagine that the vibration of the planet would rise, and we would see a decrease of this negative competition that is taking really over the world. And then all these conscious mothers who are living in their truth, and maybe other women who are also living in their truth, who choose not to be mothers, but they would be examples for young girls and boys how to become these courageous, loving, and beautiful individuals. And that would be a beautiful reality to witness, I think.
Absolutely, I agree. That's so beautiful. One last question that we have. You work a lot with personal branding with women. Can you speak about that, and also about, and what I think, what I really feel and think that's unique in your work about personal branding is that it doesn't look like any mainstream branding work that we see. It's very unique, and it has this high vibration, high consciousness to it. And you also talk about being you're like creating your personal branding from your authenticity, from who you really are, from the inside out, rather than creating an image that's out there. Out there. Please speak about that.
Yes, and thank you for asking this question, because what I find, very, uh, as you've noticed, is that most branding systems are, well, let's call them fake, in the sense that we're trying to turn a person that is not truly so in some desired internet image. Now, that is not how long-lasting branding works. And if you see the lives of all the great personal brands, whether we're talking about Oprah, or whether we're talking about Steve Jobs, it is based on who they truly are at their core. So as a brand master, as a professor of personal branding, I always teach or coach my clients that they first need to start with being truthful with who they are. And in branding, we treat this a little differently, and we do a brand assessment. That means that we assess the person from all perspectives, and we evaluate the person's resources, and we see where they stand. And then we need to figure out what is the goal of that person. So does that person want to become known regionally, nationally, or globally? Because the plans need to change and be tailored accordingly to the goal. So in order to craft long-lasting, again, we're focusing on long-lasting personal branding system, we need to focus on who the person is, and then we need to coach that person to reach the personal development that is required to also reach the goal. And I've written about this extensively in the book I co-authored with Brian Tracy and other experts from all over the world, named Cracking the Code to Success, which is available on Amazon and on my website as well. And in my chapter, Personal Branding 101, I talk about how to reach this elite level, and I give actionable steps to do that. But it is all based on authenticity. And I received the Quilly Award in Hollywood, California for my contribution to personal branding, specifically because I created this nexus between personal branding as we perceive it as a systems making with personal development.
Yes.
And so we need to bridge this space of discovering ourselves with the space of creating ourselves. And when the two come together, we can talk about that beautiful journey of becoming.
Wow. Yeah, the beautiful journey of becoming, coming from within yourself. That is so beautifully put. Very eloquent. And for people who haven't heard of personal branding before as something that they can actually receive coaching and actually do, but know that it's something that they want and it's something that they see all over the internet and everywhere in the world, how would you explain personal branding to them, especially to women, and why is it important for a woman to have a personal branding that is authentic to herself?
Well, I think in the past, if you wanted to have a successful business, or if you wanted to become known for something, it would be mainly based on word of mouth. But with the technological global change, we can now reach an audience from all over the world. Look at us today. We're discussing from two different sides of the whole world, hopefully reaching women from all over the world in all cultures. That is a great thing. And we need to harness that when we build our personal brand. And now, what is personal branding? Because we keep hearing about branding everywhere. First of all, you can create a brand for a person in a similar way in which you can create a brand for a product or place. When we think, of all these Armani and Dior and Nike and Apple and so on and so forth. But we also hear of people such as Elon Musk and Dr. Oz, even Kim Kardashian, whether she's a model we aspire to or not. But these are all personal brands. And now in this technological age, in order to reach any level of awareness, any level of success, you need to put yourself out there, but you need to put yourself out there in a manner in which you are different or better than your competition. And that is what a brand coach or manager does. You can work with a brand coach who coaches you on how to reach your desired status in your field. And you can work with a branding company, as I have, in which we create all the little parts that create a branding system. So a brand is not a logo, it's not a beautiful picture, and it's not a website. It's a system that consists of a brand strategy, much like we have a business strategy, and of all these elements that need to come together in order to elevate the person. And these elements, yes, they entail the website, the business cards, the picture, the speeches, the presence, the way the person conducts herself. So it's really a very well thought out process, and it draws from anthropology to psychology to business. It is a field in its own right, and it's receiving so much interest in recent years.
Thank you. I'm sure a lot of women will be excited to look this up and to, dive into it deeper, especially women who are ready to step into their calling. They're ready to step into the work that they want to do in the world and want to embody. Thank you so much, Dr. Karina, for your time. This was definitely an amazing interview. I enjoyed it so much on a personal and intellectual level as well. We're so happy to have you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. And as you said, it has been a truly powerful conversation.